Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another wonderful devotional. Sorry I haven't made one in a while. I have no excuse. I haven't made a video. I wasn't gonna make one just because it's night. I don't normally do videos at night. I am in my pajamas, but after reading the devotion, I was like, it's really good, really powerful, and I really feel like someone else could benefit from hearing this. So yes, I'm going to continue to read it, and we'll go from there. So, the title is A Matter of Perspective, and you're going to read 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 1 through 37. Help me to see through your eyes, Lord, that my vision may be clear. Says a lot. Alright, matter of perspective. I see everything with perfect clarity, my child, and I offer clarity to you. I am never clouded by doubt, worry, or prejudice. I know the end from the beginning. You can rely on my perspective. Saul failed to rely on me, and his vision was clouded by fear. In contrast, David saw the enemy from my point of view and knew he could be victorious with my help. Are you looking at problems through your perspective or mine? On your own, you see an insurmountable mountain, a giant of a problem, while I see a tiny dot on the roadmap of your life. From my vantage point, the problem pales in comparison to the solution I've provided. I'm here to help you see your way clearly, all the way to victory. Rely on me to see you through. Again, read 1 Samuel chapter 17, verses 1 through 37. So I'm going to go and read that, and then we'll come back, talk about what is happening in the Bible, and then how we can apply that to our everyday lives. And forgive me if I have to sing out of it. I am tired, but this has to be done. So, as we read 1 Samuel chapter 17, it's a very familiar story, David and Goliath. And I think a lot of people have heard about this story, but if you haven't, it is simply about a really strong warrior and a boy named David. And so, Goliath is like this really powerful, strong warrior who's trained at a young age, to go out and fight. And they're at war right now, and David is the youngest brother, and all his brothers right now are out in battle, and everyone is pretty scared of Goliath. Nobody really wants to take him on. And so David is a shepherd, and his father sends him to go check on his brothers while they're in battle. So he goes, he's checking on them, and he's just wondering, what's going on, and he's asking questions, and he wants to know what happens if someone does take him on, and what the prize will be, and so they're telling him, and they're like, what do you care, it's not like you're going to go up against him. And so he's like, but I can. When a lion or a bear would come and take a sheep from the flock, David was able to, well, not able, but he had to go and get the sheep back. And so in verse 37, it says, the Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of the Philistine. So basically he's saying, if God can help me fight off that bear and fight off that lion when protecting the sheep, he can help me fight off Goliath when protecting you. And so everyone's looking at him like, okay. Nobody really, is taking him seriously. So I had to keep reading because it's a pretty interesting book, and it's a story that I'm not too familiar with. But if you keep reading past verse 37, David's brother is like, okay. So he gives him his armor, David puts it on, and it doesn't fit him, and he's like, you know what, I can't use this isn't going to work. So he takes it off, he grabs his stones, he grabs, puts them in his tunic, and that's really all he had. And so, I don't want to give it all away. I'm sure most of you know the story, but for those of you who don't, this is just all the more reason to tune in to the next devotion and see what happens. So how do we apply this to our everyday lives? Um, so if we reference back to our devotional, the topic is a matter of perspective. And so I think it's really, really important for us to be careful of what we allow to cloud our mind and get in front of what we're supposed to see. God really wants us to have clarity and to have contentment in whatever we're doing and whatever we're going after. And when we get afraid or when we're fearful or not easy about a situation, it really makes us view it in a whole different light. And a lot of the times that light is not what God has for us. If you're studying for an exam, if you get afraid and you start worrying, your mind gets clouded with doubt and you start to question if you're going to remember things. But that's not God's plan for you. That's not His will. He wants us to see things through His eyes. And I think a lot of us would be so much more at peace with situations if we tried to view things through God's eyes. And of course, it's always easier said than done, but we really have to just take a step back, really view our whole entire situation, and not be so negative and try to really be positive. And the devotion says, are you looking at problems through your perspective or mine? And I think a lot of the times we want God to help us, but we want Him to do it on our time. We want Him to get us through something, to deliver us from something, but we don't want to see why we're in that situation. We just want to get out of it, but we don't want to see why God is making us go through it. So I think it's really important to just keep an open mind when you're going through something and know that God does everything for a purpose, and we have to rely on Him and try and see things through His eyes. So be like David and know that no matter what is going to come our way, we have to know that no matter how big, how small, perspective is everything. So thank you for watching. I am, again, sorry it took so long, but please leave your feedback, and there will be another devotion to come.